Hi Max, I'm just starting, don't worry. Alright, stream's just starting. Just give me a minute. I've got to get my table and desk and all that organised to get all this stuff out the road that's in front of me. Grinder, packets of cigarettes and shit, coffee. I got the message from YouTube. And instantly kick on it. Instantly! Anyway, how about you, Max?
Navigation resumed. Turn left, then turn right.
Right. So we're in a place called Wick, which is actually, it's at the top of Scotland. I've been there before. I've drove, I did this thing called the North Coast 500, which is basically Scotland's, Route 66. I did that a few years back, so I did. It doesn't have every place up here, because actually there should be John O'Groats up here. Yeah, I've been to Ullapool as well, where we drove basically all the way up here, Inverness. We went up towards here, but it wasn't Wick we went to, it was a bit up here called John O'Groats, and then from John O'Groats we went over to Thurso, and then from Thurso we went over to a place here, where there's a little beach called Durness. We camped about there for the night, and then we drove down to Ullapool, and then forward on back down the road. But it took a good 2-3 days of camping to do this, so it was nice. Short, but nice. So yeah, just gonna do a couple of deliveries today.
Turn right.
I'm glad you're good, Max. I'm alright, yeah. Feeling fresh. Literally just up, what, half an hour. So, oh, that's right, we're taking this down to Dumfries.
Navigation resumed.
Yeah, I'm doing alright. So, thanks, Max, for asking. Look at that, Max. Can't talk.
Navigation resumed.
There's no way out there, so we'll have to go back the way. Got that looks like a Jeep. That blue car. Yeah, I'm carrying a bunch of Jeeps here. You always wake up at 4 AM? What? Why'd you get up at that time? Sometimes I don't go to bed till 4 AM. Oh, I'd have to go this way. Yeah. I usually don't go to bed till 4 a.m. In fact, last night I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, this morning even, should I say. It was about 4 o'clock this morning I went to bed. You just got up at 4. Damn. So what gets you up at that time, Max? Work? It's the only thing I could think of. Plus it's what? It's a Saturday? Ah. Yeah, Friday and Saturdays are usually my stay up all night days. On the road again. Do 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 do. Misty, why are you staring at me like a demon? Are you coming up? Cat's staring me out. Yes. She was out in the garden earlier getting surrounded by birds. 2 crows and 2 magpies. She started making that funny noise. Oh, somebody's broke down. And she started making that funny noise that cats make when they see birds. The little fucking mouth was going like mad. Right, yeah. Yes I do, I get ready for school and shit. Walking the dog, looking after the horses, etc. You have horses? I live in the countryside. Cool, nice. Take it you stay in a farm? Or have a big farmhouse with stables and stuff? It's the only way I'd get up at 4 in the morning. Is if I stayed in a farm and I had to help, say, my dad or whatnot, milk the cows, and collect the eggs from the chickens. That'd be pretty fun. I sort of stay in the country as well, Max. Stay in a little seaside town called Troon. It's actually where the Golf Open was held just a couple of months back. Yep. Tiger Woods was in Troon just a few months back there, playing at Royal Troon Golf Course, which is literally just a 10-minute walk from my house. But yeah, 4 AM match, jeez. Some time to get up for school. When I went to school, I got up at what, 8, half 8, had to be at school for 9, and the school was literally only around the corner from my mum and dad's house, so yeah, 5-minute walk to the school. Troon's nice, you'd like it. Just let me squeeze by here. Troon has probably about 17,000 in population. It's not big. Although it's not like a village, it's you know, it's a good sized town. Not a whole lot in it though. Few bars, few restaurants, plenty of second-hand charity shops, or flea markets, whatever you call them over there. We call them charity shops. Cancer Research Shop, Bernardo's charity shop. We have quite a few hairdresser salons, Turkish barbers. You always get one of them. Got a Costa. I don't know if you get Costa where you are, but it's like Starbucks. It's like the UK version of Starbucks. Costa coffee. Need to kick my... Wait, I need to kick my brother's ass. Yeah, why? Why? What's happened? Yeah. So, you know, I've got one big brother, and I've got two big step brothers. So 3 brothers altogether. I've got 2 step brothers and 1 biological brother. So I'm the baby of the litter. So so yeah, when I was younger, I was normally prime target. Not so much from Brian or Tony, because they were much older. You know, they were like 10 years older than us. They were like 10 years older than me, my stepbrothers. But my biological brother is only like 3 years older. I don't see him anymore. Come to think of it, I don't really see any of my brothers anymore, unfortunately. And one of my stepbrothers, Brian, who I was probably the closest with, yeah, he doesn't talk to me either anymore. For some butthole reason. Unknown explanation. Was never given one. No, the last time I spoke to my brother Brian, who only stays round the corner, literally like 2-minute walking distance. Yeah, 2019, summer 2019, I was out in Spain, and my brother Brian messaged me saying, "How long are you out in Spain for?" And I said, "I'm out here for a month." We're 2 weeks in already, so we've only got another 2 weeks and then we're back home. And he said, "Okay, well, when you get back home, give me a message." So I'm like, cool, I'll give you a message when I get back from Spain. So when I got back from Spain, messaged him saying, "You want to come round for catch-up, coffee?" Never got a reply, never heard from him again. And I'll never know why.
At the roundabout,
Well, maybe one day I will. The fuck was that about?
Take the exit.
I know. But we'll see when I do see him. When I do see my brother Brian next, and I get the opportunity to speak to him. I don't particularly like my brother Brian's partner Karen. You know, she used to be alright when I was younger, but she's just a miserable fuck. Doesn't let my brother Brian do anything. You know, she's allowed to go out all night with her pals in a night out, but if he goes out in a night out, he has to be back by 12 o'clock or the door's locked on him. You know, the front door gets locked on him. I'm like, what a fucking bitch would I fuck be with someone like that? Nah. One rule for them and another for you? Nah, I don't think so. Fuck that shit. Yeah, so last time I spoke to my brother Brian was June or July 2019. Haven't spoke to him since. Oh, hello Jaden, sorry. Too busy yapping and driving here to see your comment instantly. But hey Jaden, hope you're doing okay. We need to wait. I need to kick my brother. Is Max? Are you back? Or are you still kicking your brother's ass?
Continue straight.
But hey Jaden. Again, sorry I never seen your comments straight away there. I was too busy yapping and talking about my brother and yeah. Sibling rivalry, I think, is the topic this morning. So yeah, driving from Wick at the top of Scotland down to practically the southwest of Scotland, going to a place called Dumfries, which I've been to quite a few times before. Got the train to Dumfries quite a few times. Back in the day, just before I started driving, which was about 11 years ago. So yeah, morning everybody. You might have noticed that I was trying to stream last night. Well, it was more about 4 o'clock this morning, 3 o'clock this morning, but I don't know, there was something mad going on with my internet, and when I put the OBS on, started to stream, the network signal was up and down, and the stream probably wouldn't have been any good. I stopped it, I tried restarting it to see, you know, if it would maybe fix the issue. It didn't. So then I stopped it again, reset my whole computer this time, tried starting it again, and yeah, OBS and the whole streaming service was still very laggy. So I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm not even going to attempt to stream, because it would just stop, start. The signal that I had last night to stream was, yeah, it was really bad. So I did attempt to stream the early hours this morning, but it just wasn't for happening. So yeah, if you got a few notifications that I went live this morning and you couldn't see anything, yeah, that's why. I had to delete the stream at the end up, because it wasn't the signal. I wasn't getting much of a signal in this house at all. Although it seems okay now. Touch wood. Yeah, it seems okay. Famous last words. But yeah, I don't speak to my brother Brian anymore. Don't know why. Don't know why. I'm surprised you've still got up. Up that. And I'm surprised my brother Brian's still with fucking Karen, to be honest. But probably the only reason he's still with her is because he's got fucking nowhere else to go. Aye. Remember my brother Brian Cannon broke up badly once. And yeah, my dad was actually going to offer Brian and his son Jay his house, got the internet in and everything for them. They didn't even bother moving in. Madness. Absolute madness. A good fucking deal as well. Council house. You know?
Take the exit.
Council houses are like gold in the UK. You get a council house, you grasp it with both hands and never let go of it. That's what I was always told.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Take the first exit.
Take the exit.
I'm a fan of these bloody roundabouts up here, man. They're a bit on the tight side. On the road again. So yeah, just driving through Scotland. Going from Wick, the top of the north of Scotland, down to the south to Dumfries.
In 50 feet, turn left.
I think I need to make myself another coffee. Turn left, okie doke.
Turn left.
Stirling, Glasgow. Yeah, that sign's no right. Stirling and Glasgow are in the opposite directions of one another. So, that sign's not right. You would never see that. Glasgow, Stirling. Edinburgh and Stirling, yes. But no Glasgow and Stirling. Glasgow and Edinburgh, yeah, you'd see that. You know what happened to Max? Still beating the shit out of his brother, probably. For whatever reason. Remember Muffin? That was mad. Once I get to Dumfries, I'll make myself a coffee. I just seen a sign for Prestwick. That's very close to my house. Prestwick. Yeah. Get there in about fucking 6 minutes in a car. Prestwick's like, that's how close Prestwick is to me. 6 minute drive. Six, 7 minute drive, so it is. I say 6, 7 minutes because I'm pretty sure I've timed it before and it took me 6, 7 minutes. So yeah, Prestwick's very close to me. It's like literally the next town from Troon. It's like one of them new Subaru Imprezas. You sure I've got my lights on? Starting to get dark. Sun setting in the game. It's corners like this one is why I'm going 50 instead of 60. If I was to do 60 at that corner, I'd probably tip the truck. So 50 is good enough for me. A wee mini, huh? You don't see too many of them. Speed camera sign. That's a nice car, whatever the hell that is. So that's speed camera there. Don't need to worry about it. Caught up with that Subaru. Yeah. I'm liable to miss this turn off. I need to get in.
Keep left. Then take the exit on the left.
Try to keep left if I can get left. This guy let me in? I think so. Yep, just.
Take the exit on the left.
I'm trying to. There's quite a fucking queue here. But there's a tractor in front of us now. Oh god. What's carrying? Potatoes. Turnips.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Take the first exit. Okie doke.
Take the exit.
There goes that sign. I just took down a road sign there. Oops.
In 50 feet, turn left.
It's quite a long trailer, this. Plus, I've got an extra axle in my lorry. Right, we need to turn left. All clear. I think. Yeah, there goes another road sign. Yeah, so when I'm coming out the corner, I'm going to definitely need to go into the other opposite side of the road to clear that them corners from now on.
Turn right.
Turn right. Almost there.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Fuck me, man.
Take the exit.
So can you make the roundabout any smaller?
Take the exit. Keep left.
Turn right. Been on the A75 in real life. Comes another roundabout.
At the roundabout, take the first exit. Take the exit.
It's going to be interesting. Another roundabout. God, we're obsessed with roundabouts.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Take the exit.
It's tough, that roundabout.
You have arrived.
In here. It'd be so easy to reverse this. This is going to be. I'm going to have to go up here, I think. get this in. Let it go itself. Still not right. Should get it here, hopefully. $25,000 for delivering that. Jesus. It's the only job they have. That's no use. Rest. There we go. Bumblebee Gaming, hello. How are you? Bumblebee Gaming. It's cool. Try and find a job. Put the radio on. Hey, Bumblebee Gaming, you still there? Or have you gone?
I don't think he can believe it either at various points. Perhaps nor even Keir Starmer. I mean, they seem to be quite different, don't they? Anyway, what do you think should happen to all these clothes then?
Well, you know, I think it's almost obscene that they're now coming out and saying that they won't be accepting any more freebie clothes and so on. And purely and simply,
I'm going to go over to Dublin.
They're trying to put a better spin on it, and it just doesn't work for anybody.
Navigation
It's disgusting that you can take money from the pensioners and accept all the lavish treatments for themselves.
Make a U-turn.
Okay, that's your words there. Thank you very much for your call. Listen to me, Matt.
I walked into a lion's den, a lair of cover-ups, deceit, lies, manipulation, humiliation, and gross sexual misconduct.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
Who said she didn't know
Take
she
the
let
exit.
herself in for a was that to say one sort of tell me about it. I'm going to speak to a senior lawyer.
At the roundabout,
Let's start with the news headlines with Jenny Basman.
A barrister waiting for 37 women
Take the exit.
assaulted on
Oh, damn.
has told LBC
Oh. It did some damage.
last year has been described as a monster.
Oh, you have no idea. See some of the road signs in this place. They're just so... Yeah. You wouldn't ever place road signs there. So the result is they get uprooted by the fucking truck.
Take the exit.
Take the exit. See, this is a decent sized roundabout. I head down to Carlisle, which is in England. Really a fan of England, but there you go.
Book your mini cruise to Amsterdam
At the roundabout,
discount this
take the
autumn.
first
Find out more
exit.
at dfds.com. Sailing subject to available T's and supply.
Meet the new Citroen.
Take the exit.
UK's most selling saloon. It's got a fresh design, optimized performance, and it's made Citroen electric. Citroen all Citroen Verified Citroen.co.uk/.
First iPhone built for Apple Intelligence. Juggling those business plans.
Looks like you've got a lot on your plate too.
Best iPhone. Available on EE, the UK's best network. BT and EE, better for business.
Apple Intelligence coming December 2024. Best for network performance. Verify at ee.co.uk/claims.
Change things to suit you. Like changing your music. Oh, okay. Let's try Skype Mobile, you can change your phone and your data to suit you. The UK's fastest growing. 12 months age plan required. Next time 35 to 1 month. Fastest growing 2021 2023. Verify sky.com/mobile claims. T's and C's apply.
I'm done. This is my last one.
England.
I can't eat any more weeks. This is the best thing in my life. Oh, they're doing dumplings with shrimps.
Still listing on food markets. Daily flights to Asia. Lufthansa.
This time tomorrow, you could be a millionaire. Get your lotto ticket for tonight. The National Lottery. Rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
This is LBC with Matt Fry. Call
to indicate there and go left, but
Keep left. Then, turn left.
As far as the regulators are concerned,
like
Turn left.
you have to remember absolutely terrified. They ended up in full force of problems of mental health. One of the officers sadly ended up in psychiatric ward. They were absolutely terrified, and they've only had the strength to come forward.
Continue straight.
Let's just get back to
In 50 feet, turn right.
Just tell me, Bruce, about why the police didn't take these accusations any further. Why
Turn right.
every time these accusations surfaced, and as you said, they have been surfacing for some time. Before this latest one, why didn't they go anywhere?
That's a really difficult question to answer, and I don't want to avoid it at all. It's just that I wasn't involved in that.
before I start this, I'm going to go and make another coffee. I think
Making process for us. So
need more caffeine.
You have arrived.
It's strange that no action was taken given the amount of complaints and evidence that was available.
Okay, so what action can be taken
We're over
now
to Dublin.
in terms of justice and
Navigation
compensation?
resumed.
Because Mohammed Al-Fayed sold Harrods, I think it was in 2010. So he died last year. But there were 30 years when he didn't actually own Harrods anymore. I'm not sure when he sold Fulham Football Club, but again, that's not something that he owned at the time of his death. So what can be done now? How would you go about, in terms of holding those people who facilitated him to justice?
Exactly. I think that the point to be remembered here is that this is a corporate sexual abuse facilitated and conspired with the then directors and the owners of Harrods. In '85, the three brothers bought it. They were co-owners.
Navigation resumed.
Mohammed and Ali. Ali is still alive and well and lives in Connecticut. The responsibility for keeping these ladies safe as employees fell firmly at the feet of the then owners and the company Harrod. Hence why we are looking at it as a corporate responsibility and failure.
Right. But does the corporate responsibility carry on, with the existence of Harrods, or does it end with the owners of the company?
Yes. If you buy a company, and remember this is the same company.
Go make myself a cup of coffee, guys.
It's the same entity. And you buy that company with all the goodwill of that company, okay?
Yeah.
But you also buy the company with any badwill, if you want to put it that way. And so when you buy the company, you have to do what we call due diligence, which means you have to look and investigate if there were any claims outstanding against the company when you buy it. And in our view, the owners of Harrods clearly either didn't do the due diligence or chose to ignore it.
In 2010, when they bought the company?
At the time they bought the company, there was an abundance of material and claims, etc., that were outstanding at the time. And they clearly failed in that duty. and that duty to protect and keep a safe system of work. So therefore, when they purchased Harrods, the responsibilities and liabilities that the company and Harrods store had at the time passed to them.
Right, and you're saying they should have been aware of those liabilities at the time of purchase?
Absolutely.
And could they have been? I mean, with people, with women coming forward much later, how would they have been aware of these liabilities at the time?
Because there was enough, and we mentioned earlier, there was enough in the public domain.
Even in 2010, yeah. So they've issued a statement. This is Harrods, the current owners of Harrods, saying, "We're utterly appalled by all the allegations of abuse perpetrated by Mohammed Al-Fayed. These were the actions of an individual who was intent on abusing his power, etc., etc." And then they say, "We are doing everything we can to fix this." What does that mean, to fix this?
Not sure, to be honest with you. They also go on to say that we weren't aware of anything until the new developments in 2023, which, in my view, is an absolute nonsense. And we can't see how that holds water at all. What are they doing to fix it? We don't know. They've said, "Come to us with your claims." We also saw that, and we thought, well, that's a huge conflict of interest. So on the one hand, you're saying, we accept responsibility for this horrific regime, which is very good. That's good. But when they go on to say, if you've got any claims or whatever, come to us, then that seems to be just a massive conflict of interest.
Right.
Where's the independent assessment?
And what about Fulham? Fulham Football Club also made a statement saying they're horrified. This is disturbing stuff. They're deeply troubled, etc., etc. In terms of compensation, what should they be looking at? What would you be going after?
The difficulty we are in, and I'm not trying to avoid the question at all, the difficulty we're in at the moment is that we're having so many new inquiries from so many poor ladies that have been affected by this horrific regime that we just are simply not in a position today to say, what the direction it would take. But obviously, our job and our duty is to our clients, and we will do absolutely everything we can to ensure that they obtain justice.
Is it churlish to ask roughly what kind of figure you're looking at the moment in terms of financial compensation? It's not in any ways a churlish comment at all. I understand where you're coming from, but it's not something that I could possibly answer at the moment. We don't even know the extent of every claim that we've got to us is a personal, individual claim. We're not looking. This is not a class action. These are individual victims who suffered in many different ways, and they all have to be assessed on their own individual circumstances. And it's possible there'll be more than 190. I mean, 150 just overnight. This could go on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this regime was in place. This effectively conspiratorial regime of the company was in place for 25 years.
Okay.
And, it's just beyond comprehension how what money and power was able to do to be able to cover up, protect those offenders.
Okay, Bruce Drummond, barrister at the New Bailey Chambers, representing many of the victims of the late Mohammed Al-Fayed. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Lots of calls to vote the last quarter of an hour of this programme to your calls, I promise. I'm Matt Fry, this is LBC, the time is now 11:45.
Coming up at 12 on LBC, Ali Mirage.
The head of Hezbollah's special forces has been killed as Israel threatens to open a new phase of the war on its northern borders. Are we heading to all-out war in the Middle East?
Ali Mirage on LBC.
Morning. Sign here for your parcel, please.
Thanks. Fancy a cuppa?
I'm fine, actually.
Sure. We've just had a gorgeous kitchen fitted, midnight blue cupboards, an instant boiling water tap. It won't take long.
From first homes to forever homes, Wix create kitchens you can be really proud of.
There are options to suit every budget, with kitchens from under £3,000. Use the Wix free design service and our experts will guide you through the choices. Book your kitchen design appointment today. Feel house proud with Wix.
Join Andre Rieu live on the 9th of May at OVO Arena, Wembley, London. It's a magical evening full of humour, romance and enchanting melodies. Get your tickets now at andrerieu.com.
I never liked her anyway.
He's clearly a narcissist.
Well, she stopped. She's seeing the kids.
He negotiates for a living. Lawyer up and protect yourself.
We get it. You mean well. But when someone you love gets divorced, saying these things does more harm than good. That's where we come in. Amicable is a legal service that makes divorce kinder and simpler. No demonizing, no aggression, just better outcomes for everyone. Amicable.co.uk. Divorce made kinder.
The Hillary's flash of
Divorce made kinder. There's nothing kind about a fucking divorce. Are you mad? No. Unless you're lucky enough to have someone that wants to end it on mutual grounds, which I was unfortunate not to have. Right. You know, because I came to the realisation that nah, this relationship's no working. It's fucking, you know, it's destined to fail. You know, try walking away and our fucking idea, well, you walk away, I'll destroy your fucking life in any way, which way possible. I'm very good. That's mature. You know. Meanwhile, forgetting to realise we've got a fucking daughter. Oh. How's she gonna feel? Clearly don't fucking care. Huh? Think about yourself. Divorce. Glad I never got fucking married. Had to go through that. Go to court for that as well. Jeez. Marriage never been the top of my to-do list. What the fuck's going on here?
Continue straight.
side. Thought we'd maybe let you see it there, but clearly not.
Continue straight. Continue straight.
This is something, I mean, if you're saying that we shouldn't be reporting this for the Labour Party, then we shouldn't be reporting it for the Would you like to do that?
Try to look at the comments, and it's hard to take your eyes off this. So, bear with me. That was a tight clearance, alright. Yeah, vibes. It was. Almost ended up in that crash barrier there. It's hard, honestly guys, bear in mind, you know, it's hard to look off screen whilst playing this. You know, it only takes 2 seconds for you to crash into someone or end up in the wrong lane. So you really got to concentrate in this game, unfortunately. And I can only really say, for example, a road like this where it's nice and straight, I can look at the comments then, but the comments I'm having to look to the right a wee bit, so I'm trying not to take my eyes off the road for too long. Because the result's the same in this as it would be in real life, you know. It's a sit there. If I reposition the phone, you can see it a wee bit better. So yeah, just when it comes to the comments, yeah, bear with me guys. You can look at them in a straight road like this, the comments, see who's saying what, but when there's bends and stuff like that, I've got to keep my eyes glued to the screen. They don't pop up on the screen automatically, unfortunately for me. keep right. Nope.
Keep left. Then, take the exit on the left. Take the exit on the left. Keep right.
Okay. But this, we're going to leave it there, so we're going to very much for calls. We've run out of time. Thank you for that.
Now it should be safe to move out. Think guys, always check your mirrors.
Keep right. Then, continue straight. Continue straight.
On your radio, on Global Player, and leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
At midday, a barrister representing alleged victims of Mohammed Al-Fayed has told LBC this is the tip of the iceberg.
We're in Wales now.
With 37. Obviously, yesterday was a busy day. We
I think I've ever been in this road.
news. I've broken my front tooth on the pit of a mango. Yeah, don't ask me, but there we are. Now, serious business continues in the Middle East.
Picture. No, if he wasn't in the picture, she would never have did that. Never have did that. She can apply for a 100-year interdict. Back here. I'm interested in seeing her. It's there we want to see. I'm pretty much sure she wants to see us. Has done for a very long time. None of this was ever necessary, man.
Right. Then, turn left.
Closed ahead. Oh, are you joking me? Been diverted here.
Turn left.
Oh my God.
Keep left.
International negotiator and expert in diplomacy and Middle East and assistant fellow at Chatham House. Naomi, thank you very much for joining us. How significant were his attacks this week? The booby-trapped pager and walkie-talkie attacks, and now also the killing of a major Hezbollah accurate in terms of escalation?
Well, I think intensive diplomacy in order to ensure that that happens, so that the residents of southern Lebanon...
I've never been to the Republic of Ireland in this year.
GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed. Make U-turn.
U-turn, right the fuck you talking? Go this way. Bypass all that shit.
of Dania whilst using civilians as human shields, and Israel now talking about moving the centre of gravity of its
GPS signal
operations
lost.
north. I mean, this
Navigation
is
resumed.
No, it doesn't bode well. And as I said, the escalation has already started.
We're at 15 minutes.
We're at a tipping point, and it's sort of moving.
Yeah.
Attacks on the beepers, the pagers, on the 17th.
GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed.
Then the targeted assassinations of Ibrahim Akil, the
GPS
commander
signal
of
lost.
the
Navigation resumed.
Most senior person in Hezbollah, Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah, is these are all very, very serious moves. There were also targeted assassinations in Syria of commanders, so of other
Time today.
affiliated with Iran. So you're definitely seeing an escalation. There's definitely been
Continue straight.
bracing for
Keep left. Then turn
We
left.
mustn't forget about that because the West Bank is on the verge of total explosion.
Turn left.
And that will mean getting to a ceasefire. He made it very clear, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, in his speech, the attack on the beepers and the radio. The key to this.
I don't have a garage in Dublin, but I think I'm going to
Well, the ceasefire in Gaza seems
purchase a garage this year.
Continue straight.
escalation dominance, because effectively Israel on its northern border is fighting a non-state actor in Hezbollah that we know is backed by Iran. I mean, what is the possibility or the danger of a direct confrontation?
Continue straight.
With Israel?
In 50 feet, turn left.
Again, like it did on the night of the 13th of April. I think they had a kind of trial, a kind of showcase, and they wanted to see what they can do
Turn left.
and what they can't, and what the response is going to be to the trial and error of the waters. And I don't think that they will be keen to do another direct attack. I mean to say that down the line,
Right. Then turn right.
the drones are extremely dangerous. They're very hard to deal with from the point of view of
Turn
the
right.
methods to it's not that easy to quell when you're talking about potentially thousands. You know, you had had about 150, and that was sort of manageable. But what you're dealing with is a new warfare tactics in many ways. With very sophisticated new types of ammunition and not very expensive to produce. Using its proxies as a template
Turn left.
before getting involved directly. And then the question is whether Israel won't hit Iran directly, holding Iran responsible for all of the proxies' actions, depending on how much damage they cause Israel.
Now, Eren Etzion, a former deputy head of Israel's National Security Council, talked about a continuing war of attrition the way it is, operation including invasion into Lebanon, which is obviously a formidable fighting force. Which way do you think this goes?
Continue straight.
Well, I think Iran is still in 2006, may I remind you that everyone remembered it was time after the kidnapped the line in entirety and kill Hassan Nasrallah. So, the precedent in terms of goals has been there. There's almost changed the mind, 180-degree return and
Continue straight.
in terms of diplomacy, has just signed a framework peace with Nasser al-Kidwa.
In 50 feet, turn right.
Foreign minister. But that said, Iran is absolutely right. Those are the three options, and it's
Turn
not
right.
where it's going, but none of them are good.
Thank you very much indeed. That was Naomi Bar Yaakov, international negotiator, expert in diplomacy and the Middle East, Associate Fellow at Chatham House.
You have arrived.
I'll give you my thoughts on this. They're bleak, I'm afraid. I don't really have an answer to the question I'm posing because it's simply my hunch. My hunch is this: that this is not. If anything, this is now moving into a phase which is completely and utterly unpredictable. You look at Hezbollah; they are wounded, they have been bloodied, they've been humiliated, completely and utterly humiliated. Hassan Nasrallah has accepted as much in his public pronouncements on this. So now you have a situation where Israel has achieved largely returned dead or alive to their families. So the families of the hostages are extremely concerned and putting pressure on the government there. But it doesn't look like there's any change of trend whatsoever. And that means directly confronting Hezbollah in its own territory. Does that mean all bets are off there? I mean, look, I do understand what Naomi Barr was just saying there. She was talking about the fact that Iran does not want to have a direct conflagration with Israel. It wants to act through proxies. But no one has escalation dominance in these kind of scenarios. You go down this road, and it's very difficult to predict. Understand conceptually from their own security point of view, but where this leads, I don't know. And let me throw in another supplementary to my question, which is this: one, are we heading towards all-out war in the Middle East? Yes or no? And secondly, will there ever be
navigation resumed?
Text 8485. Ask Alexa to send a comment to LBC.
Being an American Express business card member. Because Taylor knows that if she successfully refers a new card member, they can both be
continue
rewarded.
straight.
So Taylor recommends it to Morgan, who recommends it to Sam, who recommends it to Alex. It feels good to pass things on. If you're an American Express business platinum card member, start referring today. 18 subject to status. T's and C's apply.
As anyone who runs a small business knows, unexpected bills happen. Yeah, they do. Just not your broadband bill. Because when you've got Virgin Media's business broadband, you won't get any unexpected new contract.
Continue straight.
The price you sign up to is the price you pay. So now you can stay in control of your cash flow with business-ready broadband. Search Virgin Media Business. Virgin Media.
In 50 feet, turn left.
Contract Virgin Media fiber areas only. New South Wales.
Dad, this is Tom.
Turn left.
Hello, Tom. Nice to meet you.
Oh, and Tom, this is Sparky McBarkson.
Great name. I thought maybe he'd have an odd human name, like Gary.
My name is Gary.
Meeting the new family can be a bumpy ride, but not with Mini. Meet the new Mini family. The new Mini Cooper with iconic go-kart feels and standout design. And the new Mini Country. Ready for family adventure around every corner. Petrol powered and they're waiting for you to take the wheel. Test day at Arnold Park. Test drive subject to Steve's availability.
The Philly cheesesteak is back at McDonald's. 2 big patties, crispy grilled onions, cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. What could be better? How about a game of Philly cheesesteak?
The 215 deposit. Subject to availability. 18
Ali Mirage on LBC 0345 6060
973. My question is this: are we heading towards an all-out war in the Middle East?
You have arrived.
So 973. Sent a comment to LBC, and my supplementary is this: Will there ever be peace in the Middle East? I'm not hopeful. Certainly not in our lifetime. 03456060973. Nick in Elstree, good afternoon.
Thank you. My answers are yes to your first and no to your second, and I wish it was the other way around. Heading for war. Has now, I think, had enough attacks from Lebanon, Hezbollah directed at Israel have been significant. Your research before, which I think is very important. It's something that sort of agitates a lot of the Jewish population. So I'm in northwest London and got family, etc. Now, people forget that the volume of rockets that have come over. The issue that sort of concerns me is the number of rockets that have come over have been significant, but they've been intercepted.
Yes.
Now, the rockets that have been sent over have been completely primitive. They were going for a hospital. They don't care where it goes for, okay? Now, the fact that they got intercepted and that's limited the casualties and fatalities on the Israel side, it's not Israel's fault. But when Israel attacks, I won't mention your presenter in terms of his views, but, you know, Israel, when they did their attacks on the walkie-talkies and pages, I think it was phenomenal. That was it was not indiscriminative. When you have war, there are going to be fatalities. If Israel went and bombed a shopping centre, they'd be vilified. They don't do that specifically for targets. Fortunately, the extremists, the Thatcher and Hamas, they don't want peace. Now, Israel would be delighted if they could have peace, but you cannot reason.
Nick. I would have said that I could understand that if it was Ehud Olmert in charge. But come on, not Benjamin Netanyahu, but some of the complete right-wingers in his party who actually want to see the expansion of settlements in the West Bank to top the 500,000 people that are already there. I mean, come on, it's not realistic. I mean, Hamas don't want peace, nor does Netanyahu and his cronies.
The only thing I would say, and I disagree vehemently in the expansion of settlements, it is wrong to be doing it. That is completely cool, and I disagree with it.
They don't care, Nick. They don't care about what you and I think.
It's true, but I think the problem is that it's been on for nearly a year now. I can't see any solution. All that's happening is the can is being kicked down the road. There's going to be a bloody war now. I mean, it will calm down for 20 years. Hamas and Hezbollah will rebuild their infantry and their military capability. Iran will fund them, pick off again in 20 years' time. I don't see how you solve this. I don't think it is. I just don't, the diplomatic efforts that have been undertaken really to try and stop it haven't managed to have any success.
Nick, I think you're right, and you painted a very, very bleak picture, and frankly, I agree with you 100%. Now, let me ask you this, Nick. When you talked about the fact that Israel did the pager and the walkie-talkie attacks, by the way, they're not claiming responsibility. Neither are they denying it either, right? So plausible deniability, whatever you want to call it. Now, what do you say? You said they were targeted, and I actually think you've got a point there. But what do you say to Volker Turk, the UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights, who said on Friday, denouncing the attacks, and said this: international humanitarian law prohibits the use of booby-trapped devices in the form of apparently harmless portable objects. And he told the Security Council this, and I quote, "It is a war crime to commit violence intended to spread terror amongst civilians." Do you think he's completely off the mark there, Nick?
He's 100% off the mark. You know what I would do? I wouldn't, if I was Israel, stick two fingers up and say, sorry for saying that, but I'd say stick two fingers up and say, when those rockets, the rockets that have been fired from Hezbollah in Lebanon, if Israel didn't have the Iron Dome, casualties and fatalities would be absolutely catastrophic. Would the world then turn around and go, oh, God, they've committed war crime? This is war. They're not going in, they're not using chemical warfare, they're not going into schools, they're not just blitzing everywhere. Mark my words, okay? Israel has got one of the strongest armies in the world. It has got military capability.
Yes.
Is so significant. If they wanted to completely obliterate Lebanon, they don't want
I get it, Nick. I mean, some people would argue and say, well, in Gaza, they have not really been very targeted in their attacks. I guess the counter would be, well, they're trying to find people in tunnels. It's not easy. And innocent civilians get killed because Hamas shields behind them. But, Nick, on your point about this being a targeted attack against Hezbollah operatives, I think you've got a very, very strong point. Unfortunately, people do die in these situations, including, very, very sadly, young children. Nick, thank you for your call. Matt in Oxford, good afternoon.
Hi, yes, nice to speak to you. Thanks for having me on.
Pleasure.
My feelings around this are that the bigger problem, in a way, in the long term, diplomatically, for Israel, is the issues it has within its allies and the divisions that we have around the ethics of their behaviour. Their enemies have always been there, but it's very difficult for Israel to do anything other than paranoid and extremely defensive if it knows that its greatest allies are busy quarrelling about the ethics of its behaviour. I'm not saying that the ethics of its behaviour are right or wrong, just that in terms of the balance of power, that's very significant. So, though it's kind of radical and kind of crazy, and I thought it months ago, one of the things that Israel could do, particularly knowing that it has that great military force, is to withdraw and stand ready and armed. Because that would unite pretty much everybody around the renewed ethical position, and that's their greatest weakness.
But Matt, do they give two hoots about ethics? What they care about is the protection and the security of their own people, which Benjamin Netanyahu, playing the Israeli hard man and focused on security, utterly and patently failed to deliver, because October the 7th resulted in the deaths of 1,200 Israeli citizens. So he's on the back foot. He also knows that if there is a peace agreement here, in any way, shape or form, he'll be out of office very soon. And Hamas know that on their side too. So there is no basis for ethical conduct here, is there, on any side?
Well, I suppose all I'm thinking of, and I see your point entirely, and of course, I mean, I can't imagine the kind of generational trauma.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and, not just over 10 or 50 or 100, but for the Jewish people or race, thousands of years, and their placement geographically, and their vulnerability, and their need for strength, and so on. I get that, and I also understand from what I've heard from you guys that Netanyahu is a long way from popular within his own people, so there's an awful internal struggle, which is about his ego and about his place.
It's about retaining power, Matt, and that is fundamentally the thing.
Absolutely.
And that's the danger.
Go on. Absolutely, I agree, but surely in the long term, the power and the security for Israel, beyond the weaponry, lies in the certainty.
Well, I agree with you there, but then you have to have partners to make agreements with, like in the late 70s they did with Egypt, because there was a partner there for peace. Egypt then promptly got kicked out of its Arab alliance because people felt that it had sold out to Israel, and that's exactly what the concern was about Saudi Arabia with the Abraham Accords finding its own peace agreement with Israel too. We live in some sort of hope, Matt. I'm not sure it's going to happen in my lifetime, though. Matt, thank you for your call. John in Caerphilly, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I think you presenting Israel as being in charge of the development of the situation in the Middle East, but I see it as everything, all the buttons are being pressed by Iran. I think we can stop talking about Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthi and put the responsibility where it belongs with Iran. And the only way to get why Iran can hide behind terror groups, there's nobody going to talk peace. If somebody wants to talk peace, it has to be talked with Iran.
I agree with you, John, and I think that that's absolutely fundamentally correct. The Jews think that if Iran, as we know, does
I personally hold all the Gaza deaths. All Iran is responsible for all the Gaza deaths. I mean,
I think a lot of people would push back. Look, I think certainly in terms of backing Hamas to do October the 7th, you could make a charge there. In terms of the way that Israel has prosecuted the war, and by the way, I do believe that Israel has a right to self-defense, makes me deeply unpopular, but I think it's absolutely a fact. That does not mean that Israel has carte blanche to do whatever it wants in Gaza, and certainly doesn't have carte blanche at all to do what it's doing in the West Bank, which is a whole other separate issue, which has been regarded as completely illegal by the International Court of Justice. And indeed, a number of Jewish people in this country find it completely and utterly abhorrent too. Not exactly the best backdrop for peace on any side at the moment, is it? My question is this: are we heading towards all-out war in the Middle East? 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Ask Alexa to send a comment to LBC. Ali Mirage on LBC 1231. The news headlines with John Stratford.
A barrister representing women who claim they were sexually assaulted by Mohammed Al-Fayed has told LBC more than 150 other alleged victims have come forward since yesterday. The current owners of Harrods say they are utterly appalled by the allegations. Lebanon's health minister says 31 people have died, including 3 children, following an Israeli airstrike yesterday on a suburb of Beirut. A Hezbollah commander and around a dozen other members of the group were among those killed.
Navigation
Listen on your radio and Global Player, LBC.
Meet the new Citroen e-Berlingo van, the electric version of the UK's best-selling small van. It's got a fresh design, optimised comfort, smart tech, and it's made in Britain. To help make the switch to electric, Citroen are giving away a free EV charger across the whole Citroen electric van range. Interested? Visit your local Citroen dealer. Citroen van. And the Citroen electric and the completion of the electric van.
in 50 feet. Turn left. Turn left.
Yes, please. Until 15th of October from 11 a.m. Participating UK restaurants.
Navigation review.
back shortly. I'm just going to make myself another cup of coffee.
Checkpoints everywhere. They can close whenever they want. They can open whenever they want. Women have to butt on the checkpoint.
Yeah, but sure.
So the problem is this is two-state solution. This is the only way. I mean, you can kill all. I mean, there was no Hamas, right? In the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, there was no Hezbollah. Where they all came from? They came from exile. They came from they were kicked out from their land. And then they picked up the arm because they think there's not going to be a solution. There's nobody listening.
Try. Okay, Sean, try not to swear because there are kids listening on their way to their
settlements in the name of peace process.
Yeah, but Sean, let me ask you this.
This guy is a nutcase. He doesn't want peace. He doesn't want two-state solution.
Okay, Sean, but there are plenty of nutcases in the region on both sides of this scenario, which is why your talk of a two-state solution, in my view, is complete pie in the sky. I can't see this two-state solution. I've come to the conclusion, I've discussed this before on the show. I think that I've come to the conclusion that this makes us in the West feel good about ourselves, that we hold on to some fig leaf of hope. Ain't happening. This two-state solution thing is a complete non-starter. It's not happening. There is no two-state solution. Sorry?
Equal rights, make one state equal rights for both.
Well, there's not going to be one state either, right? So what you're going to have here is in my lifetime, Sean, there's not going to be a settlement, right? I'm sorry to say, it's going to be perpetual conflict going on for the next 75 years. I won't be here to see what will happen. Maybe some of the Gen Zers might be around. I won't, but I can't see any resolution to this. I'm sorry to be bleak, but that's the story. I mean, that is my view.
The thing is, there's no solution, that's fine. Then give them equal rights, make one state, and from the river to the sea, and give both Palestinian and Israelis equal rights.
But Sean, you're not going to have that because you've got Hamas that don't want to live under Israeli.
Where Hamas come from?
They don't want to live under an Israeli state.
Where they come from? They're born from exile. They're born from kicked out.
I understand that point.
750,000 people expelled in 1948. You need to do a bit history. Go online, read a document called Plan Dalit 1948.
Sean, I've read plenty of it.
Blueprint of ethnic cleansing of Palestine, entirely Palestinian population.
Sean, I've read it all. I know exactly the history of it. I've read it in great detail. The point is this. Both parties have claims on the land. They don't want to share the land, and they want to actually dominate one another. That is not the basis for this. We're going to stop providing arms to Israel, and we're going to send in peacekeeping troops. That's not going to happen. I can't see that happening. Could you?
Britain give them the land. The British and American have an influence on them. Balfour Declaration, Arthur Balfour. I think you need to do a little bit of history.
No, Sean, no. Don't give me a history lesson, Sean, because I know the history inside out. So please don't tell me about the history, because I know it. It's a contemporary situation, which is going absolutely nowhere. Sean, thank you for your call. I have read the history on the inside out. Dave in Boston, the history of
of creating unrest, and the only winners, I think it's the US behind just about everything at the moment, personally. I mean, even down to the Israelis to intercept all these theatres and these parts of the walkie-talkies are going to
of the long-range ballistic missiles that can go 75 miles, which have been provided by Iran to Russia. It's exactly that. The quid pro quo was being indicated was nuclear know-how. So we should see what goes there. Thank you for painting even bleaker picture about the various states.
It's the worst happens, you know, crashes or something like that. Game crashes. Never good. But there was a time when I was live streaming this and it crashed again and again and again and again and again. I think it was only about 3 weeks ago or something like that. Yeah, I read it. Alright, let's get to Rotterdam.
Continue straight. Navigation resumed.
You think if you just turn your music up just a little louder each time, but that's not you, is it? You know you can get your car insured. All you need to do is enter your reg on eBay. Find brake lights, filters, windscreen wipers and more. Get your car MOT ready. Find the right part at the right price with eBay.
Need to print?
Take a hint. You can get toner and ink.
Philips, new thing.
Cartridge people don't want vehicle prices. Cartridge people.
Printing? Our price promise.
Ali Mirage on LBC. 6060
LBC 1249. The situation in the Middle East continues to escalate. Hassan Nasrallah, the Hezbollah, rather, that will come next by the unspoken agreement had been broken.
You're joking me, man. What?
Killing dozens and severely humiliating the organisation. And yesterday, Ibrahim Akil, one of the was killed in a suburb of Beirut, and you have political affairs.
Oh, fuck that wheel up.
So far, my question is this: are we heading towards all-out war in the Middle East? 0345 6060973. Show
Take the exit.
Two-state solution, unlike the naive lambing.
Means there's never been all-out war in the Middle East.
There'll never be peace in Gaza, and George says, not wanting to sound facetious, but why should we care what's going on in the Middle East? It does not affect our lives here in Western Europe at all.
It's not Syria, it's Libya. It's no Libya, it's Yemen. Oh, somewhere in the Middle East there's always something popping off. You know, it's been that way practically ever since the United States decided to create a power vacuum. To Rotterdam. Hey, alright. Jeez, you need to slow that much down. can.
There have been three previous Arab-Israeli wars on that particular basis. I don't quite agree with Shaka, but I do also understand that Arab states have said we want the Palestinians to stay where they are, because if they get displaced, that is not going to help anyone other than the extremists within the Israeli government who want to see their borders of their state expand. Shaka, thank you for your call. Emma de Boyke, afternoon.
Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to add something
Questions are being asked about how much bosses and handlers knew behaving Mohammed Al-Fayed when he owned the department store. Lawyers representing women who claim they were sexually assaulted by him have told LBC 150 alleged victims have come forward since yesterday. Pakistan was dropped, says there's a lot of work to do. Harrods' current owners say they are utterly appalled by the allegations. Fulham Football Club say they're in the process of establishing whether anyone there is or has been affected. 31 people are now reported to have died, including 3 children, after yesterday's Israeli airstrike on a suburb of Beirut. The Israeli military says the strike killed 11 Hezbollah operatives, including a commander of the group described as a terror organisation by the UK government. As Labour Party members continue the party's conference, Party Secretary Lisa Nandy said that ministers demonstrate their living lives are very different to
Wuhan. Felipe. Oi. Oi, what? Oi. Usually a little nicer to say just hello. No, who's that sound like?
President and the First Lady, their
straight.
U-turn. After weeks of criticism, it has also emerged that the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner
Continue straight.
The Chancellor have also accepted gifts of clothing. All three are understood to have decided that they will not accept contributions of clothes after sustained controversy over gifts from the donors. Now, the sources have insisted that Starmer was not admitted that he had been willing to accept £16,000 worth of clothing and glasses and £2,485 from they said that senior ministers have concluded
Keep right. There. Continue straight. Continue straight. Keep right. There. Continue straight.
To support me in my capacity as Deputy Leader of the Labour Party.
Continue straight.
So, as I mentioned, I started brushed off these questions the other day, saying that the most important thing in all of this is that we follow the rules, which is really important to me, and make declarations so that everything is transparent. Now, that's all fine and dandy. That's all fine and dandy. But it does remind me of two lines. If you're in a glass house, and if you're in the glass house, then
Continue straight.
particularly with some of the carryings on, be it lockdown parties or anything else, some people defend that. But I do think that there is a question of some reviews about this if you are inclined. If you're going to be holier than thou and proclaim your socialist principles, this is what you expect. Now, my question to you is this. Are Labour just as bad as the Tories? Ask Alexa to send me now gets worse. But it's not just the clothes that are the issue. It's also the fact that there's been an almighty row going on. And it's
Continue straight.
the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff is sending quite a lot of money for that kind of job. I don't think it is. I think it's perfectly acceptable to pay that kind of money. The question is, if you're an aide, a political aide, who've just had to sign up to new rules about not getting paid anywhere close to that with different bands,
Take the exit on the
and
left.
yet the person at the top of the tree is getting a lot more than you, and you've had to accept lower pay than you did in opposition. Clearly that's going to cause some consternation. And all is not happy in the Labour tent. And this is when they're heading to Liverpool for their first party conference in 15 years, where they should be being cheered to the rafters on this. In the first 100 days.
Traffic going so slow. Why is it 20 miles per hour here? I'm not fuck doing that. 20 mile an hour. Fuck off. There's not even any roadworks. Put back to 20 again. Jesus Christ, I'm in, out. No idea why this part of the road is 20 mile an hour. I'm doing 50. Fuck 'em.
charge of fixing potholes to VAR. And you somehow managed to park in 2 days. To Britain, we must say. You had your Weetabix.
The village is that with bag of McDonald's, 2 patties, crispy onions and cheddar cheese, all topped with a melted cheddar cheese sauce. How about ready for lovely game? Village is there too. Yes, please.
We've landed, so we're bed.
Take the X's on the left.
Okie dokie. So now we're heading down to Dover. Get the ferry over. Red light.
Keep left.
Someone's going to pay for him to be in a box.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, but you see, Jerome, this is the thing. This is where I think it gets really stuck very quickly. Because it's very easy for me to... It is confusing, Jerome, and it's very easy for me to come on here and bash Starmer. In fact, I'm not bashing Starmer. All I'm saying is it's falling apart very quickly. I'm just saying that people who bash then come up with something else. Paying them a lot more. If you're a cabinet minister, you should be getting paid a shed load more than you are. And by the way, I've got another radical idea for you, Jerome. How about performance-related pay? You've got key performance indicators. Every year, independent body assesses you against those and gives it a bonus or not, depending on whether it's on track. In terms of his deliverables, Jerome, thank you. Very cool. Chris in Southampton.
Hello there, nice to speak to you. I appreciate your stance on this, actually. I think you
Amsterdam or Rotterdam. Right there. Why go to France?
This hospitality and these freebies or gifts, as you say, have all been declared as per what the standards should be and what we would expect. I think the problem is we've been whipped up into a little bit of a frenzy, or we all have, thinking actually we want something a little bit different from this government. I'm not showing any regret, as you say. I think we needed a change. We needed a refreshment of government. Whatever your thoughts and
I think we needed a refreshment.
Lights on.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we're on the same page, but let's be realistic about what it is these people do for us is expected in that world. If you're a lifelong Labour supporter, you're probably a little bit disappointed this is coming out. I was like a little bit, the optics aren't quite socialist mind. I mean, but I do appreciate that he's been fully transparent.
Okay, Chris, let me ask you something. Chris, let me ask you something. Prime Minister has got to be on the public stage. I mean, there's a UN meeting going on. I don't know if he's going to the UN this week, but he has to go to G7, UN, IMF, you name it, right? This person has to be everywhere. Mansion House. This stuff, you can't be the same sort of person in the same week. Right? You can't. I mean, it's going to be a national headline. You've got to land use right. It costs quite a lot of money to some tailored suits. Now, if the lines like a
I was disappointed when Thomas said, I've abided by the rules. I've made a declaration. I've done what I was supposed to do. Now, the issue is that the rules are fundamentally flawed because there's an element of he who pays the piper is taking the tune. That's what we're talking about. So we're talking about Ali,
yes,
right, who complete in isolation. We also have to look at the parliamentary task that we have.
Yeah, we're down to
I agree with you that the Prime Minister should be in a position where they have to rely on donations and support. They should be substantially paid.
I agree with you, Ayu. This is the thing. This makes me feel queasy. It's not queasy about the fact that Starmer's taking donations. I feel queasy about the fact that people out there in the country feel that we should not pay for our Prime Minister and his wife to look the part for us. I think we should. I'd pay.
And it's not only that. It's also linked to the issue of
GPS signal lost. Navigation resumed.
It's something that everyone's because it's linked.
But you see, I agree with you. I do tell you where you are on that, because I often think that in the marketplace of ideas, you see, I'm a bit torn about this, because if state funding of political parties is the next step, I think should parties stand and fall on their own attractiveness to their voters and also to their potential donors? Why should we fund parties that we think are ridiculous?
It's a dilemma. either way, it's a difficult one. It's not
They're shit. See a thing here. Belgium? Yep. I saved it. This way. Fuck. It says Rotterdam. This way. That's also caused the crash apparently. Damn. Emotional damage. Go this way then. Keep right, okay. Oh no. Where'd I crash into? The fuck? No, 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 no. I didn't crash into anybody. They crashed into fucking me. Which is always usually the fucking case in this game. But you still get the fucking blame of it. Right, very good. What is going on? It's not right. Ah! Jesus, your nails, sweetheart. Yeah, not when I'm bare skinned. I don't jump up my legs. Claws straight into my skin there. It's fucking agony. Sorry mister, you need to wait. Finish state. Aye.
Start a free hearing chat with experts today. Part of the conversation. Specsavers. Okay hearing is not okay.
Hello, you. It's a bit unsettling when high household bills are coming at you from all angles. From here, over here.
Bills coming out from all angles.
At Uswitch, our experts fight for fairer prices so you could switch, save money and get back in control. That's why more people come to us to find their energy, broadband and mobile deals than any other site. Uswitch. We put you first.
Right, different approach.
Uswitch.com/verify.
Off this week. Apparently, we're more productive after a good holiday. So, I'm counting this Caribbean rum distillery tour as professional development. Yours, Colin.
Take your holidays as seriously as British Airways Holidays take your holiday. Atoll protected.
Ali Mirage on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Ali Mirage on LBC 150. Sir Keir Starmer will no longer accept donations. U-turn. Weeks of criticism also under the reign.
Not like that, whatever the fuck it was.
Taken gifts of clothing. Not really, it wasn't really clear that it was clothing. Now is, it's all rather embarrassing. What do you make of this? Are Labour just as bad as the Tories? 0345 6060973. And I'll talk in a moment. Lee says this, the difference between Boris and Starmer is that Boris was decorating the Downing Street flat.
I don't know I'm getting this fucking it.
Starmer is getting others to find things to his personal use. We really would like to get to the bottom of exactly what Lord Ali is wanting from the government. Labour is now beholden to him. Says Lee, interesting perspective, Lee, thank you. Anne in Boston, Lancashire, afternoon.
Hello, afternoon to you. I've got 2 points to make for you, Ali. The first one is regarding the nuclear allowance that we've all lost,
yes.
Which is £200 a year for me. The MPs are allowed to claim for £3,500 per year for their heating allowance. 650 of them. And so that one is in my throat very badly. Because they're going to be £3,500 for it. And so that's the first hypocrisy that I'm The second thing is the Prime Minister's salary. He doesn't spend any money because he's living on Downing Street, so he doesn't have to pay those bills. And therefore his salary really is bankable, isn't it?
It's a good point. That is a very good point.
Hey, it wasn't in that fucking space. I managed that, no problem.
So I think there may be other personal circumstances on, nor do I particularly care other than I don't think he's paid enough for the job he does have, quite honestly.
Well, the thing is that because he doesn't have to spend any money, the upkeep of his existing house, he can claim for expenses, the same as he can claim for half a day's worth of private protection when he goes to a football match. He can claim that because he's Prime Minister. And he can also claim his housing allowance, his clothing allowance, because he's Prime Minister.
I didn't know there was.
I didn't
know there was a clothing allowance, Anne. Is there one? I wasn't aware there was a clothing allowance, Anne.
There would be,
I don't think there is, Anne. That's the point. I don't think there is, Anne. That's the problem. So if you've got to go to the Mansion House to go and speak to the Lord Mayor at the Mansion House dinner, or you've got to go to the Guildhall, I think the Prime Minister goes to, I mean, you're going to have to go and buy your own tailcoat. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's not cheap.
I'm sorry, I can't believe that there isn't that. If you can...
There isn't, as far as I'm aware, Anne.
If you can have decorators in number 10, there'll be a cover for clothing, I'm sure.
Well, if the Prime Minister's listening, Sir Keir Starmer, please do call in, let us know. As far as I was aware, there wasn't one. And thank you very much indeed for your view. Josh,
Anne is quite correct.
Well, how much is it?
As Prime Minister, it covers the cost for all official state and royal occasions. So if he goes on official duties, if he attends a white tie event, a state visit, for instance, all of the
cost for himself and his spouse for clothing. But the problem with this, Ali, is that I think Nigel Farage, when asked about this at the conference, was very, very clear. And he said, why is it the media are conflating the expenses of the leader of the opposition and his spouse, who have no
Navigation
official
resumed.
role, with the Prime Minister and his position? As Prime Minister, he has all of these grace and favours provided by the state. But he should be given more money. Should the leader of an opposition party be given money so that they don't have to go and take donations? Now, I'm no supporter of Keir Starmer, but I am a supporter of Arsenal. I don't want him in the stands for the security of all.
So then, Josh, what should he do in that case? What should he do in the Arsenal case?
He needs to go he needs to be away. We don't want to a distraction. The club can pay for that, because if the club is not going to pay for that, I'm happy as an Arsenal supporter for this to be
but then what if the club wants planning permission for an extension to the stadium, and then what happens?
Excuse me, I think we'll find, Ali, let's be realistic. There isn't a single influencer that we watch on YouTube or Instagram or anything who does not receive free gifts. Free gifts are part
but they're not ruling over us, though. They're not ruling over us, Josh. They're just trying to enrich themselves. It's a bit different.
So what does Aston Villa want from the Prince of Wales?
I don't know. But when I was approached by a leading property developer in the country, when I was campaign to protect rural England, and a local branch were like objecting to this person asked me to come out for dinner about 10 times. I refused every single time.
Well, that's a situation where you can see possible gain. The gain is for Arsenal Football Club, the pride of having the partner as a supporter, and the focus that...
Yours are so sharp. Jesus. Hey. Hey, Jesus, for the love of God, can you retract your claws, for Christ's sake? Fucking eagle's talons.
Navigation.
You just look at it, just looking at me like, what? Yes, the claws, yes. I think we need to take you to the vet and get your claws trimmed. Don't we? Yes, they're too sharp. They're too sharp, they're like bloody needles.
In 50 feet, turn left.
And the smell that emanates from it is overpowering. I told you months
turn
ago
left.
to
Then,
your shop
turn left.
that I was invited to bribe a local Labour councillor some 30 years ago. And this lack of integrity.
Stay.
I'm sorry.
Resty.
I had hopes.
The deals, man. What the fuck is going on here? We got
Going on in the background that was only owned up to in the public gaze when it was discovered. It's diminished.
What the fuck is going on here?
I fully agree that there should be expensed allowances for public duties, etc.
Turn left.
But these are being subsidised from a private source.
I ain't fucking wait.
For the railway for 30 years. If I took a bottle of wine, I'd have got
You.
Keep right.
This is the thing, Frank.
There, turn right.
Leaving the private sector, they should also.
Turn right.
Susan in St Albans, afternoon.
A couple of things, but I do.
Just briefly, Susan, we don't.
I used to be
How does that affect us, Claire?
Continue straight. In 50 feet, turn right.
Go on, briefly.
Turn right.
They don't. And the point about funding for their electricity, their heating.
Keep left. There,
costs a lot of personal money as well. I can tell you, I've been there, and it's not cheap. Now, essentially, violent pornography is fundamentally changing towards young girls, and it comes
In 50 feet, turn right.
against Mohammed Al-Fayed.
Turn right.
My question is this: why is
Then,
misogyny
keep
still
left.
rampant in our society?
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 2 o'clock, lawyers representing women who claim they were sexually assaulted by Mohammed Al-Fayed have told LBC more than 150 further alleged victims have come forward since yesterday. Dean Armstrong KC has been speaking to some of the women hired when Al-Fayed was in charge of Harrods.
They said when they were first employed by him, two young blonde women of 19, 20, 20 odd, they sat around for the bulk of the day having nothing to do because there was no job. Effectively what happened was they were selected on the basis of their looks.
Harrods' current owners say they are utterly
Ta-da.
appalled by the allegations. Fulham FC is also carrying out an investigation. A former manager of Fulham's women's team says precautions were put in place to protect players from Al-Fayed when he owned the club. Lebanon's health minister says 3 children were among 31 people who died in yesterday's Israeli airstrike on a suburb of the capital Beirut. The Israeli military says a commander of Hezbollah was killed, along with 10 other operatives of the group. Officials in Gaza say at least 22 people have been killed in an Israeli strike in the north of the territory. Israel says it struck a Hamas command and control centre embedded inside a compound previously used as a school. As Labour members head to Liverpool for the party conference, Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy has said it's important ministers demonstrate they're not living lives that are very different to those of voters. Keir Starmer, Angela Rayner and Rachel Reeves will no longer accept donations of clothes after criticism of gifts given to the Prime Minister and his wife. Former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell has told LBC the new government hasn't given voters enough hope things are going to get better.
What you don't do is tell them we're going to have potentially another round of austerity. We're going to take the winter fuel allowance off you. We're going to leave another 500,000 children in poverty because of the 2-child limit. You depress people in that way, and it's completely counterproductive.
Tens of thousands of people have been ordered to leave their homes in northern Japan after record rainfall triggered landslides and flooding. 1 person is dead and several are missing. And paratroopers from 8 NATO countries, including the UK, have taken part in a parachute jump in the Netherlands to mark the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Arnhem. More than 8,000 British soldiers were killed or captured in the offensive in September 1944. LBC weather largely dry for the north of the UK with some sunny spells. Rain or heavy and possibly thundery showers across the south, a high of 24. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm John Stratford.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Ali Mirage.
Ali Mirage on LBC, 3 minutes past 2. In this final hour, I want to talk about misogyny because I was hoping that this would be something that we wouldn't be having to discuss on this programme in 2024. But sadly, we are, and for multiple reasons, really. There are 2 issues concurrently going on which I think are relevant to this conversation. The first, of course, is Mohammed Al-Fayed, and I've watched the documentary, not the whole of it, because I was watching it this morning. I watched about 50 minutes of it, and I tell you, that 50 minutes is very, very disturbing indeed. Indeed. Let's hear some of it.
I remember that first time he said, "What are you doing for the weekend?" And I remember saying, "Oh, I was going home to my parents." And he presented me with a £50 note. "Here's some money to go towards taking something home to the parents." I remember feeling like, why are you giving me some money?
Initially, in that first meeting, he didn't say it, but very soon after, he said, "Just call me Papa, Papa." He said, "Come to Papa. You only trust me. I'll look after you." I thought it was odd that he said Papa, because that was weird, but then I thought maybe he did mean it in a sort of fatherly way initially. Only a few days after I'd been working there, he would sort of bear hug me to start with and greet me with a hug and that was very early on, and that made me feel a bit weird, you know. But then I thought, oh, he's being nice and protective, like a sort of, you know, fatherly figure. But then it just, the hugs became more, well, sort of uncomfortable, and yeah, I didn't feel right. And then, I mean, the hugs, he'd just try and kiss me, and I didn't want to be kissed.
Who are targeting girls age 14. Now, this is the Home Secretary saying that violent pornography is fundamentally changing the views of young boys about sex. This is the Home Secretary. She says new figures reveal police are receiving more reports of serious sexual assaults, very serious sexual assaults, from 14-year-old girls than any other age group. 14-year-old girls, the most rapidly rising group of anyone reporting very serious, the most serious sexual assault. And what does that tell us? We're going to find out.
Stream. Start another one just shortly. Until then, take care of yourselves. Till the next time.